you doing? Duff here. I'm at the school and I have the One Wheel Plus XR with me. Never had this device at the school, so this should be interesting, since this is where I did the majority of my early EUC training. So it'd be interesting to compare and contrast how this goes on the one wheel riding around the school. I can tell you already, just from my experience of riding the driveway the other night, other than the spot where I hopped off the wheel and it ran away from me and I just narrowly saved it from going into the standing water in the yard, other than that, I feel like I'm making some solid progress, actually faster progress than what I did with EUCs. And I'm not sure if that's because of my EUC background or just generally the one wheel is an easier device to at least get the basics of standing on it and moving on it. I kind of think it might be the latter, that the one wheel might be harder, or I'm sorry, the one wheel might be easier to at least get up on and get moving initially compared to an EUC. Alright, so turn the board on and I'm going to fire up my app, my one wheel app. I've not actually done like an official ride on the app yet, so let's do that, because then it will record all your stuff. The one wheel app is very, very cool. Okay, let's see. I'm in, wait, no, elevated. No, I don't want to be elevated. Mission mode. Okay, I'm in mission mode, which is kind of the all-around mode with no speed limiting. So let's do that. Let's do a new ride. And yeah, I know you can't see this, sorry. Ride terrain flat. When you enter a ride, it asks you to name it and what kind of terrain you're doing, and it tracks all this stuff for you. All right, so we're riding, but it's cool. It like tracks your, you know, just like a regular EUC app. It tracks your distance, your max speed, and a lot more. So okay, let's see if we can get up. All right, we're up and we're balancing. So some of the feedback I got from people that saw my video was my front foot position. I had it kind of angled, and they said it's more ideal to have it more perpendicular like I have it now. So I'm going to be trying that out. I guess I was thinking that I need to have as much of my feet making contact with the front pad as possible because of my big feet. But yeah, I'm going to try this. This doesn't feel bad. I do have a fender on the way from One Wheel, because I can attest that lots of little things fly up and hit you from these huge spinning tire if you don't have a fender. So I do have a fender on the way. I think they are kind of ridiculously overpriced. The fender from One Wheel was like 85 bucks maybe, plus shipping. I think with shipping it was $100. And you can actually spend almost double that on other fenders, like from a place like Craft and Ride. So I think the One Wheel accessories are a little overpriced. And I'm kind of curious if I might be able to come up with something similar with my 3D printer. So that will be a test. So the steering, you know, I'm much better going an inside turn than an outside turn, but I think it's just because I don't trust it yet. Like going this way inside isn't bad at all, but the kind of turn where I have to lean out, I don't fully trust myself yet, so it's not as easy. But the fact that I can do this, I mean, just doing this kind of stuff took me forever on my Ninebot 1, so I'm definitely far ahead of the curve compared to the Ninebot as far as progress divided by time invested. So the one wheel has something similar to what EUC riders refer to as tilt back. They call it, in the one wheel world, they call it pushback. And basically, once you're reaching the threshold of where you are doing something that the motor can no longer support, it will start tipping the nose up, which will be either like an overspeed condition or you're like climbing really steep terrain. So obviously I've not reached that point yet, but that is something I'm definitely going to be looking out for. Unfortunately, Cindy wasn't able to join me today. She wrenched her back yesterday, so yeah, riding a one wheel would not be a very good activity. So like right now I'm cruising at a pretty good speed and it feels pretty stable. like I mentioned, oh, right there, see that felt like a little bit, yeah, it's probably a little bit of pushback, so I'm going to slow down. As I mentioned on the video I posted with my driveway footage, I am utilizing the technique where you look where you want to go as opposed to looking down at the board, and that definitely helps me, without a doubt. But if I'm being honest, I mean, I feel confident enough in this that I could probably take this to Dunkin' Donuts. I would stay on the sidewalk, I wouldn't do the bike lane, but yeah, as far as basic maneuverability, I'm not doing too bad. I mean, this tire is so fat, you don't really have the, you got a big fat platform that you're riding on, so it feels more forgiving. Okay, so now I just reverse direction and I'm going the other way. Now this definitely feels more challenging because I've discovered I'm a goofy foot rider, so right now I'm not riding goofy foot. So I definitely don't feel like I have the same degree of control. So I'm going to be trying to keep the speed down, but I'm okay. You know, I can do this. It's definitely not my happy spot, but it's not terrible. But see, this was harder the way I was riding before with when I had my front foot angled as opposed to perpendicular. So when I was going the opposite direction, you know, my foot position on the board felt a lot different. You know, with this setup, it doesn't feel quite as different, you know, because I have my feet more or less the same. So I think that's another advantage of using this stance as opposed to what I was doing before. I have more shakiness in my legs riding the opposite direction, for sure. Ouch. Yep, there's the reminder. Look at my leg. Whew. Tried to stop, got a little swervy, tried to jump off, didn't get off completely, and you know, kind of got forced into a split there. So, yep, not ideal. Actually pulled up a small section of grip tape. I think that's what I really need to work on, is the stopping, because obviously I'm having some issues there. May have heard that, but you didn't see it. Oh man. So I rode by, it's going slow, doing a 180, turned back around, got squirrely on me, came off butt first, smacked my head on the ground. If I didn't have a helmet, that would have been really bad. Smacked it hard enough that my I can feel it in my neck. Oh boy. Ooh. Yeah, that was bad. That's a bad one. It's one of the reasons that I probably should be in grass to start here, because wow, those things hurt. Yeah, I just basically, I got my toes, I got too far of a lean over to the one side, and then I corrected, and then it just went and just went flying. Yeah, that one's gonna leave a mark. I also hit my, you know, my elbows and stuff, so it's good that I'm padded up. But my neck hurts. It hurts. It still moves, so I didn't break it or anything. But yeah, scary. All right, well, let's see if I can at least stop the board here correctly. Man, oh man. Like that. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm fearless, but I'm usually not afraid of riding. But that fall, that was the most potentially dangerous fall that I've ever had. You know, when I've fallen on EUCs, it's been to the side, falling forwards. I've never ever fallen backwards like this and smacked my head on a hard surface. So yeah, that's a little disconcerting. But you got to keep trying, right? Most falls you hear about on a one wheel are the type where you have they call it a nosedive, where someone's going too fast and the board gives out, and after pushback, and then the front end will just drop, and usually they wind up having to try to run it out, which they rarely can do successfully. And yeah, that's usually the way most falls are, not what just happened to me. Okay, I'm going to try to ride the sidewalk here up to the high school. Right now I'm at the middle school, so let's see if I can just maneuver the sidewalk. Yeah, that felt a little weird. Anything that kind of throws you into an S pattern, that's my weakness. Because it feels like my body it's not recovering from that very well, and it just wants to amplify that motion, which is not good. I mean, I think I've established that I'm pretty comfortable just going straight with nice sloping, gentle turns. I really need to practice the tighter, slower speed stuff, and dismounting, obviously. I really am distrustful of doing an outside turn. You know, this is what I would call an inside turn where you're leaning forward. It's doing an outside turn that I really have a hard time trusting myself. Still having issues doing that dismount. And I was stopped there, and I had my freaking toe up. There we go. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. This thing's all about going off-road, and I haven't really gone off-road yet, so I guess I should try that, huh? There's some relatively flat-looking grass. Hey, at least it stopped. Alright. And at least I ran off of it that time. Definitely more challenging. It's those quick moves that throw my center of balance back that I'm not good at recovering from. This isn't quite as smooth as I hoped. I made it, but I'm sweating. That was hairy. So let's try that jump off technique again. Although it's not the preferred way to get off your board, it is supposed to work, and it is supposed to be a way. So we're going to come to a stop. Going to jump off with 2 feet. Okay, it stopped. See, I'm wondering if what happened was when I stopped, I was on my driveway, the angle part of my driveway, and I was perpendicular to it, so the board was kind of like that. I'm just wondering if that, for some reason, just confused it and sent it running down the hill. So I'll do more testing with that for sure. Some mild agility training here. We're going to do an outside turn into there, and we're going to do an inside turn here. That feels very simple. And then off here, another inside turn, and then a sharp outside turn. Let's see how that goes. Far from buttery smooth, but it worked. not horrible. Of course, the real test will be, can I drink coffee and ride a one wheel at the same time? Dunkin' Donuts coffee, of course. Not a sponsor. Looks like I've gone about 3.1 miles so far, cruising at 10 miles an hour. It says I still have 14 miles of range. Not bad. Alright, sand, sand, gravelly sand. Alright, here we go, back on the sidewalk, outside turn into the sidewalk. Yeah, see that change in angle there, that's shaky for me to negotiate at this point. Not confidence inspiring at all. So this feels comfortable to me. This is like 12, 13 miles an hour cruising speed. Don't really need to go much faster than this. These on-ramps make me a lot more nervous than they do on an EUC, let me tell you. All right, let's see if I can stop. Under control. Toe up. Okay, good. Good, good, good. I'm not sure if my back foot was back a little bit too far. I felt like I had my back foot too far on the board. I don't know. Because I read the farther apart your feet are, the more the board has to work to balance you. So I have read that sometimes it's better to have them in a little bit closer, even though I would imagine you sacrifice some control in doing that. In some ways, you have an issue that's sort of similar to what happens with mini pros because of the platform with the two wheels. Going straight over things is easy, but it's when you go side to side, you got to be ready for that for sure. You have to counteract the movement that this fat tire is going to want to do to you. I think with practice I'll do better on those on and off ramps. You got to be ready for that little swivel that you're going to have. If you're not, then you got problems. All right, now when I was learning EUCs, being able to ride a full lap around the track here was a big deal. I don't think it's going to be nearly the same sort of deal now, but let's do it anyways. All right, so I'm doing it with an inside turn this time, and then I'll try to do it with an outside turn. Doing it with inside turns feels very, very easy, and it feels like I'm actually going a little faster than I should be. The board itself is very quiet. I mean, really the only thing you hear is the huge tire making contact with the ground, but the motor itself is super quiet. Probably quieter than any of my EUCs. Okay, finished one lap with inside turns. Now we're going to try outside turns. If I want to be really thorough, I would reverse my direction and try it that way, which would be more challenging for sure, but I think we'll call it good after completing this. Interesting, this actually feels kind of good. The constant turn, meaning I can do a constant back lean, it actually feels pretty good. Not nearly as bad as I thought it would. Wow. All right, there we go. It's one lap around with outside turns, no problem. That's kind of cool. Okay, let's do another stopping test here. Bring it to less than 1 mile an hour. Stop. Raise that foot. I think I need to do more stopping tests and less riding tests. Oh my God. More battle scars. Oh, One Wheel XR. I love you and I hate you. Alright, but I won't give up. But I think I need to wind up the session here with just doing some stopping tests, because that's an important skill, don't you think? Alright, so according to the app, that was about almost a 5-mile ride. And it still says I have 12 miles of range left, 71% battery. So, yeah, battery life in this thing is not a problem. Stopping, doing slow speed maneuvering, a potential problem. So, I can only stress how important it is to wear safety gear when you're riding one of these. I had 2 incidents where the back of my head hit the pavement hard, and yeah, I think that might be one of the marks from it. So yeah, kind of important. All right, so that wraps it up for my largest one-wheel session so far. We're just looking at the collateral damage on here. Just some scrapes, it's fine. This has some plastic bumpers on the bottom that are designed to protect it from most impacts, so it doesn't look too bad. So that was interesting, huh? A lot of fun, but you need to use a lot of caution, obviously. And I'm learning just how much that is firsthand. So if you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. And yeah, that's all I got for you for now. I'm gonna probably go home and put some ice on my neck. That's it for now. Until next time. Duffman out. Oh, never mind. I'll talk about that later. Got the mail. You're lucky you weren't along. You were freaked out.
What happened? Are you okay?
Yeah, my neck's sore.
You're holding yourself, honey. What did you do?
No, I was doing a turn and got swervy and lost my balance and came off backwards and hit my head on the parking lot.
Did we all mess with it, or did
That was scary. I mean, the helmet
You were
protected.
scared.
The helmet protected me. Well, no, it was. I mean, I've never come off an EUC like that. All right.
I think you should ice your neck or something.
But it's just that's something like I would never let Katie or Daniel in here without a helmet. Never. It's crazy. It could just get swirly on you.